Hey, what's going on guys? In this video, I will share my full in-depth non-sponsored camera review of the Motorola Signature, and I will be comparing it against my OnePlus 15 to show you the differences. A lot of people underestimated the OnePlus 15, including me to be honest, seeing the huge specification downgrades, but I think a lot of people have missed out on turning on a key feature on the OnePlus 15. I'll show you in a minute. But before all that, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. This kind of content takes a lot of effort to make, and seeing that sub count rise motivates me a lot. Okay, so grab a snack and kick back because I have a lot of stuff to cover. Okay, so TLDR, right off the bat, the stock camera app is quite bare bones and straight up lacks features. Not only does it lack features, but also the JPEG image processing is rather incompetent compared to my OnePlus 15, which has much worse hardware. I'm telling you right away, if you are using the stock camera app, unfortunately, you are probably not even taking 50% advantage of the proper high-end main sensor on this phone. I will get to the samples in a minute, but first let's talk about the features, or rather the lack of it. First of all, the Moto Signature does not offer any automatic high-resolution mode. This is the killer feature on my OnePlus 15 that applies automatic upscaling when the lighting is good enough. But I've seen this feature works throughout the day right until late evening. This allows the OnePlus to take 26 megapixel shots from the main camera, the telephoto camera, the ultra wide camera, the selfie camera, even portrait mode. This is a seriously amazing feature that a lot of people have missed out and have not talked about on the internet. The Moto Signature badly needs this feature to do justice to the high-end 1/1.28-inch Sony LYT-828 sensor and also the 1/1.95-inch LYT-600 Tele sensor, both of which are much more capable at a hardware level than the OnePlus 15. Note, the auto high resolutions upscaling mode is different from the dedicated high resolution modes on both phones, which are totally useless. The Moto Signature also lacks a pro video mode. I cannot think of any other phone with this kind of sensor that does not have a pro video mode. This seriously hurts those people who want to use this phone to get the best video quality possible. If not a full pro video mode, at least the automatic mode should have an exposure compensation button like I had on my Xiaomi 15, which is an incredibly handy feature. Okay, apart from that, it's the general lack of features. There is no bitrate options, no ability to lock white balance, no log 4K 120 FPS only available in slow motion for some reason, no metering options, no intervalometer, no portrait video, no ability to switch to front camera while recording video. This is a very bare bones camera app for a phone with such powerful hardware. Now, I would have been okay with that, but the problem is with the Moto Signature that it's not even the best when it comes to third-party software. It has a lot of capability guys, like DCG on the main sensor, up to 8K raw video with impeccable image quality. But they are not available by default to third-party applications. You have to root the device to expose those options to third-party apps. Like for example, in Motion Cam Pro, probably the app of choice for the ultimate video quality on Android, I will cover it later, 60 FPS is not supported. It just crashes the moment I choose it. You need to root to fix this. In the Blackmagic camera app, the OnePlus 15 is able to access the latest camera to API hybrid exposure feature released with Android 16 Beta 2, which allows you to change what metric controls the auto exposure. For example, you can use shutter priority where you can fix the shutter speed for proper motion handling or to prevent flickering under artificial lights, while the ISO remains on auto. Or you can go for ISO priority where you can fix the ISO and only let the shutter speed change the exposure automatically. This is not available on the Motorola because Motorola is not providing the latest camera to API. On the Moto, you can only be on full auto or full manual. MC Pro 24 FPS, the moment you switch to any other picture profile on the Moto, you will crash. You have to reopen the app to make it work. And you have to enable manual white balance to get any color. I also find that when disabling noise reduction, there are more artifacts on the Motorola compared to OnePlus. I wonder if this is because of the difference between 8 Gen 5 and 8 Elite Gen 5. I'm not sure. Okay, first let's start with video with the stock camera app. 4K 30fps main sensor, I've got two scenes each. In the first scene, the OnePlus 15 has much more balanced exposure and is clearly capturing more details. In the second scene, which is a much more high dynamic range scene, the OnePlus has better dynamic range, but the Motorola has more details. I prefer having more details. At 4K 60fps in the first scene, the OnePlus 15 is again exposing the scene in a more balanced way and is clearly capturing more details. In the second scene, however, both are closer when compared at 4K 30fps. The OnePlus has slightly better dynamic range while the Motorola has slightly better details. Next, ultra-wide 4K 30fps. Once again in the first scene, the OnePlus has better exposure and has much better detail capture. In the second scene, the Motorola is a bit more detailed while the OnePlus has a better dynamic range. At 4K 60fps, the ultra-wide in the first scene, I'm going to sound like a broken record now, the OnePlus is just better exposure, better detail. In the second scene, I can say both have similar dynamic range, but Motorola has better detail, so this is a rare, clear victory for the Moto. At 4K 30fps telephoto first scene, the OnePlus 15 is clearly capturing more details and the image is more organic. Motorola is not doing justice to its way better sensor. In the second scene, once again the OnePlus 15 image is much more organic and more detailed compared to the crunchy, sharpened footage on the Moto. At 4K 60fps is pretty much the same story. In the first scene, the OnePlus is better. And in the second scene as well, the OnePlus is better with more natural image rendering and better detail. Here is another walking sample 4K 60fps video from the Motorola Signature for you guys to watch. This is 4K 120fps. I easily prefer the OnePlus here as it allows real 4K 120fps capture with normal audio. On the Motorola, you are limited to slow motion, which outputs a 30fps file with slowed audio. Also, the autofocus turns off the moment you start recording in this mode, which is just lame. For selfie video as well, I prefer the OnePlus, which is capturing more details on the face, providing better stabilization with less visible jerks, and is providing a wider frame. For low light, I will only stick to 4K 30fps. And so for the main camera, first of all, both devices are brightening the scene way too much exposure. This is how it actually looks in reality when I manually pull down the exposure. Anyways, in the first scene, the Moto and the OnePlus almost captures the same detail level, but the Moto has less noise. I mean, the difference is not as big as the difference in sensor size. Moto's stock processing is just not doing justice to the sensor. In the second scene, once again, Moto is only slightly better with similar detail and lower noise. In the last scene, the Moto once again captures a bit more detail, but the OnePlus has a more accurate white balance, more balanced exposure, and better stabilization. For ultra wide, both are just bad, which is expected in this kind of low light. For the telephoto, I am surprised. The OnePlus with much smaller sensor and smaller aperture is almost the same, if not slightly better than the Motorola. Overall, for video, I will give the clear win to the OnePlus. It has better automatic video mode, it has an actual dedicated pro video mode, it also does portrait mode video at 4K resolution, and it has better compatibility with third-party camera apps. It has just more features. The Moto Signature can do a lot better with third-party apps, and I will definitely explore that in the future videos, but right now, the stock camera app is quite incompetent. Moving on to photos, first I want to show you the raw performance to give you an idea on the difference in actual hardware capabilities. The Moto Signature not only has larger sensors but also wider aperture lenses. First up, main sensor at ISO 1600, the Motorola Signature has a clear advantage in terms of noise performance. It has much lesser noise and finer noise pattern and lesser color noise. The Sony LYT828, which is a 1/1.28 inch sensor, is performing exactly how it is expected. Not only that, but the Motorola also has a f1.6 aperture lens, which just helps bring more light and keep shutter speeds higher. Telephoto sensor at ISO 1600, once again, clear advantage to the Motorola Signature. The LYT600 sensor is simply more capable. It also has a wider aperture just like the main sensor. I could also use faster shutter speeds to get the same exposure as OnePlus since both the sensor and the aperture is bigger. Ultra wide, huge difference in raw shooting capabilities. ISO 1600, the Motorola Signature is producing significantly better results with much lesser noise and finer texture. So clearly, the Moto Signature has better raw image quality. So you would expect the Moto to be better for regular JPEGs, right? Wrong. Take a look at this image shot from the main sensor. It's a nice and bright afternoon. Both images look fine at a glance. But guys, I don't look at images on a phone screen nor on social media. I watch it on my 4K monitor, and zooming in, the difference is clear. Just look at the fine texture rendering and detail on the OnePlus. It's an enormous difference. And why is it so? That's because the OnePlus is applying its automatic upscaling magic, whereas the Moto simply lacks such a feature. The OnePlus shot is 26 megapixels and a whopping 10.5 megabytes compared to the Moto at only 4.1 megabytes. Here is another example. Take a look at how pristine the image is on the OnePlus. Some of you may say this is cheating. I do not care. This is genuinely game changing on the OnePlus, and Motorola simply doesn't have an alternative. Well, there is one way to get this on the Motorola as well, and that's using Gcam, which also provides crazy upscaling options. And using just the 2x upscaling finally allows the Motorola to flex its muscles. I'm not saying my Gcam is perfect, guys. It's not yet. I'm still working on it, but this is the only way you can properly utilize the Motorola's camera hardware right now. Whether it's the main camera, the ultra wide, even the telephoto or selfie, the OnePlus is simply superior to the Moto when comparing the stock camera performance in daylight. The OnePlus's JPEG processing is on point with beautiful natural detail rendering compared to the highly compressed and sharpened photos on the Moto. You have to use a precisely tuned Gcam config to bring the Motorola on par. Skin tone rendering with the sun falling on the face is good on both, but OnePlus is slightly more accurate and detail capture is supreme. But Gcam, guys, bridges the gap quite well, and the detail on the Gcam is just insane. And almost perfect skin tones, by the way. But when backlit, OnePlus pulls ahead with better skin tones and less pale masking effect. My Gcam configuration also does a good job, but it's sacrificing some dynamic range in the process. I'm going to shut up now and let you guys watch. I have a ton of samples, unlike other channels who ignore detailed comparison, which is one of the objective things you can compare. I will heavily crop into each and every sample to give you guys a good idea. Moving on to low light, and I am surprised. If it's moderately low light, the OnePlus is basically on par with much worse hardware. This shows how far ahead OnePlus's software processing is compared to the Moto. Even the telephoto is not much different, which is quite shocking to me since the telephoto is massively downgraded on the OnePlus 15. The only time when the Motorola clearly beats the OnePlus is in extreme low light, when there is barely any visibility. And this is where OnePlus's software processing hits a limit and Moto's hardware prowess takes over. But the thing is, these situations will be far less. Most of the time, OnePlus will easily pull ahead, and unless you are using Gcam on the Motorola, of course. Finally, portrait mode and selfies. For portrait mode, overall OnePlus takes the win. Edge reduction is better, detail is better in daytime due to upscaling. Gcam captures some crazy amounts of detail on the Motorola, but we all know Gcam's edge reduction algorithms are no longer the best compared to other brands now. Google Pixel phones these days are the worst among flagships for portrait mode. Even in low light, I don't know how, the OnePlus is easily able to keep up and sometimes capture more detail than the Moto. For selfies as well, I give the win to the OnePlus with better detail rendering and slightly more accurate skin tones. Alright guys, that's my full camera review of the Motorola Signature, and the conclusion is pretty much clear. Terrific hardware at this price point with the Motorola, but held back greatly with incompetent software processing. I guess the excuse with the Motorola can be that it is at least 20,000 rupees cheaper than the OnePlus 15. It's definitely possible to get terrific image quality from this hardware on the Motorola Signature, but for that you would need to invest some time and effort into third-party solutions, and I will explore that in the future as well. Alright guys, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to hit like and definitely subscribe, and also consider hyping this video so that I can get more reach. Okay, take care and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.